to summarize all the important bills that were passed to help Alberta cope with COVID, to help save lives and livelihoods, and to help to keep more of our government's commitments to Albertans. Jason and I just wrapped up the second straight all-night sitting here in the legislature a couple of hours ago, and right in front of me here are the 34 bills that were passed by this legislature this spring, the most productive legislature in Canada by a country mile, getting the work done for Albertans. I want to congratulate and thank all MLAs for a job well done under very difficult circumstances. The arrival of the COVID-19 pandemic in Alberta in March was an unprecedented event in the lives of Albertans. It launched the worst public health crisis since the Spanish flu a century ago, and it was accompanied by the worst global economic downturn since the Great Depression, made even worse, of course, by the lowest oil prices in history in recent weeks and months. Almost every other provincial and territorial legislature in Canada shut down daily sittings back in March. The National Parliament in Ottawa suspended sittings for 5 weeks starting March 13th, and then in May they voted to end sitting until this September. But here in Alberta, we decided to do the people's business. My view was that we should show up to do our work safely, just like everyone else who possibly could. And we have done that. We have worked hard for Albertans. In fact, we just, as I mentioned, finished our second consecutive all-night sitting, and I think I've had 3 hours of sleep since Monday morning, if I'm not losing count here. In total, the Alberta legislature sat 52 days this year, far more than any other legislature in Canada, including the federal parliament. In fact, nearly twice as many days as the average amongst legislatures from coast to coast. We passed these 34 bills into law, including numerous bills enabling government actions needed to help protect the lives and livelihoods of Albertans. This is a bold, ambitious list of legislative achievements for any government at any time. And I am proud to lead a government that accomplished so much of this during a particularly tough time in Alberta's history. One way or another, all of these bills derive from the record mandate that we received from Alberta voters in last year's election to get Alberta back to work, to stand up for Alberta, and to make life better for Albertans. They also respond to the tough hand that Alberta's been dealt this year, just as we were starting to recover from 5 years of economic stagnation. The pandemic-related legislation has helped our province get on top of the virus early and contain its spread, while impacting less of our economy and our lives than all of the other provinces in Canada and many parts of the world. Also enabling us to start reopening sooner than most jurisdictions across Canada and North America. And the recovery-focused legislation lays the foundation for a rapid and robust return to private sector-led growth, investment, and job creation. One of the big advantages of our relatively successful management of the pandemic in Alberta, thanks to Albertans' personal responsibility and our openness our open for business message and policies, has been the NHL's decision to make Edmonton a hub city for the Stanley Cup playoffs. And I understand that the Oilers, I was in the legislature last night, but I think they won the exhibition match against the Flames. So congratulations, Oilers. The decision to come here was a gutsy call by the league and the players, but Alberta and Edmonton have a long history of producing champions. So it was the right call to decide this year's Stanley Cup champion here. We've got some work to do to flatten the COVID curve again in parts of Alberta, as Dr. Hinshaw has underscored. But we did it before, and I'm confident we'll do it again. And when we get through it, we will still have a deep fiscal and economic hole to dig ourselves out of. But we've got everything that we need. We have the people, the resources, and the indomitable Alberta spirit to get it done. That kind of resilience, that kind of culture of personal and civic responsibility, that irrepressible optimism and culture of enterprise is who we are. In some other parts of the world, the health and economic stresses caused by COVID seem to have fractured social unity. But in Alberta, the shared love for the beautiful place where we live, the pride that we have in what our ancestors built here, and the dreams we have for the boundless potential of our people and our resources remain as durable and as unifying as ever. We are truly blessed to live in such a place at any time, but especially in such a time of global turmoil as this. Thank you again to all of the MLAs. Thank you to the opposition party for cooperating. There have been a lot of fairly strongly felt disagreements, as you would expect in a vibrant democracy, but fundamentally I want to commend the opposition for having agreed to sit within COVID health rules over the past 3 months. And I especially want to thank our very dedicated public servants for their remarkable work over the past 5 months, helping us to get through the crisis and also achieve this record legislative outcome.